Okay, hello everyone. Welcome everyone to the training webinar series, Office Flow with Rooms and Tasks, a smarter workflow for optometry practices. Thank you for joining us today, and we look forward to your questions throughout the presentation. You can enter them by clicking on the Q&A icon on the top of your screen. My name is Marianne Giorgio, and it is my pleasure to be with you today to introduce Kimberly Lewis. Kimberly has worked in the optical industry for over 20 years. She has a bachelor's degree in health information technology, is CPO certified, and trains at our Eyefinity education conferences. Kimberly is known for her extreme spunkiness, and I can verify that. And at home in Illinois, she enjoys spending time with her family, reading and listening to good music. Welcome, Kimberly.
Thank you, Marianne, for the fantastic introduction. Marianne, let me know when you can see my screen, please.
It says, let's get started. We're good.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. All right. And we can see Eyefinity EHR. Okay.
I see Eyefinity educator training.
Thank you. So everyone, welcome to the webinar, and thanks you for joining me. I am Kimberly, like Marianne said. I want to talk to you today about office flow. We know within the office, a strong workflow is the difference between an office that reacts all day and an office that runs intentionally, right? Today, we're going to look at how Encompass Eyefinity EHR supports operation flow by reducing errors, improving efficiency, and creating better patient experience without adding more work for the staff. That's the kicker there. This won't add more work for you. Okay. I'm going to demonstrate practical tools you can start using immediately. Office flow is a feature that will allow you to track the patient throughout the office. You can view which room the patient in, as well as use call buttons and tasks to assign and track things that need to be done. Walk me, I'll show you. I'm going to sign in. I'm going to be the provider. And I'm going to log in. Or I'm not, okay? I am, I'm joking. Okay. Office flow is located over here in your upper left-hand corner, right next to the home key. When you click on office flow, there are filters that you'll be able to filter out specifically who or what you want. I'll show you what I mean. If I click on this filter, I know that I am in the correct facility. I know that I have the correct provider. And I also know I can search for patients under here. Okay. But none of this is really telling you about office flow. So let me tell you more. I'm going to get rid of my provider name. What you see here, you see my patient, John Smith. John Smith is currently in exam room 1. John Smith has 2 call buttons. And what are call buttons? Call buttons are used for tasks that requires the patient that needs to be done, but the patient should still be within the office. For example, maybe we need to retake fundus photos, or maybe I need the patient to sign a consent form. Any reason why, I just sent out a task to the staff. So I'm the provider. I don't want to leave my office. I'm with the patient. I can send a task to a staff member and tell them what the patient needs. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and click on manage call buttons from right here, right up under this little red icon. and you'll see what I'm saying. I created this task earlier today, and this patient right here specifically needs to be trained. It's a new contact lens wearer. Okay. How did I get here? That's your question. I am going to show you from beginning to end how I got all this information under Office Flow. We are going to pretend like my patient just came in. So I'm going to go to patients. I'm going to click on quick list. I am going to pull up my brand new patient, Teresa, who just got here. Okay. Teresa got in. She's going to be seen today. So I'm going to create her visit. I am going to go to the right-hand side. I'm going to select a room. I am going to choose check-in because that's what she's done, or maybe she's in pre-testing. I am going to hit save, bottom right-hand side. I can use the rooms to tell the staff specifically where Teresa is, okay? So when Teresa's done pre-testing, maybe I want to pass her over to our provider. Maybe it's time for her to see the doctor, so I'll just put her in the exam room. As the provider, I open up and I see that Teresa did get fundus photos, but they kind of need to be retaking. They're not the best fundus photos. So what I'm going to do is I can come over here and use a call button, or I could create a task. Because Teresa is still sitting in the office, I am going to use the call button because I need this done now. That's my patient. Here's my call button. And I need images to be retaking. So there we go. We want to retake. Stat, because I kind of need this right now during my exam. I can leave the two who I'm assigning this task to be completed to. I can leave it blank so it just goes to the staff, or I can be specific on where I want to send it. I can give notes. Okay. And I can choose save. I don't have to leave a note. I don't have to be staff specific about who I'm assigning this to, but I do need, because you can see the red asterisk, the patient's name. I also need to know the action that's needed. I'm going to hit save, bottom right. Okay. Now, if I was to move over to my left-hand side and click on Office Flow, you will see I now have John and Teresa here. Both of them have actions that need to be done. Okay. I have this icon in red because it's stat, meaning I need this done now. I can choose to manage this call button here. I can change the room that Teresa's in. Okay. I can create the visit from here. All of this can be done under the Office Flow. I can even click on Teresa's name and go straight to the chart. I am going to leave Teresa as she is and come down to John. I can manage these call buttons. I can say I can acknowledge them, cancel, because I'm the sender, or I can say they were completed. I'm just going to hit complete. And when I hit complete, they're done. Now, I can create a new call button if I need it to. I can change rooms, like I said, and move John. Maybe he's in the contact lens room. I'll just hit save. I did not point out, please forgive me, but you noticed that I cleared my call buttons and it still said I had to. That's just because the software had to catch up, okay? It just had to refresh itself. If I needed to add a call button now, I could. All right. I'm going to go to my left-hand side. I'm going to click on John's name. And just as I told you, it would open up his chart. I'm in the visit. I'm going to create a task. Now, what's the difference between a call button and a task? Call buttons are actions that need to be done that needs to be taken care of while the patient's in the office. Call buttons will also remove themselves within 24 hours because the software assumes that the patients are not spending the night, okay? Tasks are for follow-up, but for things that can be done after the patient is no longer in the office. So maybe I just want a staff member to call a patient and remind them of the aftercare a patient needs once they received punctal plugs. It's just a communication thing. So John came in the office. John got punctal plugs. As you can see, I labeled this communication. Task details, remind the patient. I put a note in specifically for what I want my front desk to say. I can link this to an order. I can save it as an attachment to the patient's chart. I can change my facility. I can prioritize it. And I do, as you can see with the red asterisk, I must assign it to someone. So all I want my front desk to do is to make a courtesy call to Mr. Smith and remind him about rubbing his eyes, or how about not trying to avoid rubbing his eyes, okay, for 1 to 2 weeks, and to keep up with the prescribed drops. I'll choose save. And notice I'm assigning this to Miss Kimberly Lewis herself. I'll choose save. And that task has been sent. Another thing, as the provider, I don't want to know who's in the waiting room. I want to know who's in my exam room. So when it comes to call buttons and tasks, I only want to see my exam rooms. If that's the case, I'll go under preferences, upper right-hand side, right next to log out. I will scroll down, all the way down. And I went right past it. You guys saw that. And I'm looking for manage preferred rooms. Now you see I already have exam room 1 attached, but I want to see exam room 1 and exam room 2. And I'm going to hit save. Once I'm done here, I will come all the way down to the bottom and I will choose save. I will go above the blue bar, click on the circle that's not complete, and I will pull my patient back up. I can open back up their exam, or I can come straight up to office flow if I need it to. Okay. I can also use task here to create a new task and to manage a task. We're going to skip past manage a task right here. We're going to focus on create new task. If I wanted to create a new task, I would have to name it. And I'm not going to say this, but I just want you to see. I have to tell you something here. And I, of course, want to know what it is that is needed. Details, anything with the red asterisk, once again, must be filled out. And I'm just putting anything in right now and assign it. Okay. What's the difference then? I'm going to go back. What's the difference in creating a new task and being in that patient's chart and creating a task here? Well, the difference is what feels natural to me. Next question I will answer that has not been asked of me. Why do I see punctual plugs as soon as I click on this select quick task? Because it is a quick task, right? Meaning there are tasks that I can create to sit under this option under here, or I can create that are called quick tasks, meaning I can set it up, fill out everything, because these are tasks I use on a regular basis. Or I can create a whole new task. You do also have your options for your quick task under this task. Okay. I'm going to pause because I have more to show you and tell you, but I want to see if there's any questions. Make sure I did not circle back or confuse anybody about what Office Flow really is. Marianne, any questions?
Nope, it looks like you're covering everything so thoroughly. No questions.
Okay. All right, guys. As I pointed out, and I'll point out one more time, I'm going to go to Office Flow. I can use my filters. Okay. And these tasks that I created that's still sitting here for Teresa, it was sent to myself, right?
Sorry, Kimberly. This just popped up. We do have a question. Sorry to interrupt, but it's from Jennifer, and it says, how do I add options for the call button?
Jennifer, great question. And I'm going to tell you before I end this webinar, that is a very fantastic question. I am good. Thank you. Thanks for the feedback. We'll parking lot that right now, Marianne. I'm going to answer that.
Sounds good.
Okay. One other thing that I want to point out before I leave this area, I'm going to go to my patient again, because there's going to be something that pops up when I'm not on the phone. And this time I'm going to click on Jane. We haven't talked about Jane yet. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create a visit. If I take a look in the upper right-hand side, you can see that my call button is not there. And that's kind of rude because we just saw that call button for Teresa and John. You have to put the patient in a room. The software doesn't even know the patient's here yet. So you're going to have to select a room. You can even say checked in. Patient's still filling out their paperwork. And we're going to hit save. And that will activate that call button. Once again, I don't have to say it was checked in. I could have put the patient in any room and the call button will be activated. But I have to let the software know the patient walked through my door. Right. What I'm going to do before I answer Jennifer's question, I'm going to log out upper right. I'm going to come and I'm going to log in as a staff member. I was logged in at first as the provider creating task and call buttons. What does it look like as a staff member? Let's take a look. And I'm going to just choose login. Okay. So when I get in here, I I have a task and I have a circle around it telling me that I have a task that is completed. Do I get access to Office Flow? Well, let's take a look. I do. I have Office Flow here. And John has left the building. So what I could do here is I can change his room. Okay. And I can say clear room. And I can say the patient has left, or the patient is checking out, or other. So I'm going to say he's gone for the day. Because what you'll notice to my left-hand side, the software is accounting for the time that the patient spends in the office. What a great way, if you're using these features, to know how long it takes from check-in to check-out per patient in your office. Okay. If I come up under task here and I choose manage my task, this was assigned specifically to me. It's in high priority. Then what I can do here is I can click on this communication. You can see that I was asked to call the doctor. I have my notes here. I mean, not the doctor. Why would I call the doctor? The doctor gave it to me, guys. I called the patient. So I can come up to my upper right-hand side. I can save this. I can reassign it. I can assign it back to the provider that sent it to me. Or I can say it was complete and create chart notes at the same time. Or I can simply say, well, did that. So if I click on complete and chart notes, here we go. Close out. I can reopen. Okay. These are my the notes that were originally assigned to me. I can choose anything I need, like maybe I emailed the patient and I want to let the doctor know. I didn't speak directly to the patient, so I sent an email. And yes, this is a free type box. Right, guys. Any questions about what the staff completes and how the staff needs to complete things? Any questions about how the staff gets to see that they have a task?
I'm not seeing any questions, just Jennifer's.
Thank you. Hey, so if I heard Jennifer correct, and correct me if I'm wrong, Marianne, Jennifer's like, how do you get any of this information within your...
How do I add options for the call button?
You have to do it within administration. So if I log out, and I'm going to go into firm admin. I'm going to log in. You're going to go under the office flow management. You're going to manage rooms and your call buttons. Call buttons must be right here and specific to the location if you have multiple locations. You cannot delete a call button, but you can modify one that already exists, and you can add a new call button. Going to cancel here. Go back to my practice settings. Like I said, you have your rooms here. You have your call buttons, and this is where you create your quick task. All of this information is available in our upper right-hand corner under our Help tab. I type in office flow. Using office flow. And you can see the words configuring rooms and call buttons because you can't do any of these other options here until you've set up your administration. We do have a short video. This is for usage. If I go into configuring rooms, there's also a short video. Jennifer, was your question answered?
I'm getting a thumbs up.
Hey. That was my short presentation, guys, about using quick task call buttons and even the rooms to make sure that we keep an efficient workflow within the office. Please do not forget that you can start using these tools immediately after you go into admin, set up your rooms, and then you're going to set up your call buttons. And if there are any tasks that you use on a regular basis within the office, please create a quick task so you don't have to fill in all the filters within the patient's chart. That concludes my webinar for today. Any questions whatsoever before I let you guys go?
It looks like Jennifer was the only question. So don't forget, guys, that if you're looking for more training, check out our other learning options. We record all of these webinars, so you can access them at any time on our website. Learning options include documentation, tutorials, walkthroughs, webinars, one-on-one virtual training, and on-site training consultations. You can always learn more at eyefinity.com/education. Excuse me. And with that, I'd like to thank Kimberly Lewis. You did a great job. Thank you for your time and the valuable information you shared with us. And thank you for everyone for attending and taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us. This concludes our presentation. So thank you again.
Thank you, everyone.